My name is Florencia, and something you might not know about me is that I was born and raised and spent the first 40 years of my life in Latin America. So here I am to talk about the one topic that is most close to my heart right now, and I feel most passionate about, which is winning is a mindset. And today we're going to unlock 4 keys to produce magical results in our lives. Are you ready? Have you ever felt broken before? Have you ever felt I'm not good enough, I'm not talented enough, I'm not wealthy enough, I'm not healthy enough, I'm not sexy enough, there's something wrong with me? It's in our mindset. And today we will see 4 practical ways to unlock crazy possibilities in our lives. So, step number 1, key number 1, have big dreams. Did you know that most people do not dream big enough? Even the ones who think they're dreaming big enough, they don't. I was teaching this, and it had been a long time since I had my own big, scary dream. It had been a long time. And so I realized that I was not the same Florencia I was 15 years ago. You see, at the beginning of my journey, I was a go-getter. I was a bold dreamer. I was a girl who would knock on every door, who would get 100 no's until I got a yes. I would take risks, I would fail, I would then try again. But at one point, my business grew, I became more well-known, my books became bestsellers, whatever. And at one point I said, let's take things a little bit more cautiously, you know. And so I went from playing to win to playing not to lose. And let me show you now what playing not to lose looks like. So playing not to lose, in essence, is you keep on doing what you know how to do. So in essence, what you do is you avoid taking risks. And by avoid taking risks, you also avoid failure. And by avoiding failure, I avoid feeling dumb. And by avoid feeling dumb, in some point, I could feel safe. But do you sense a problem here? I could feel safe, but I was not growing. I was not growing anymore. Have you ever, let's do a quick thing. Close your eyes for a moment. It's a quick show of hands. Nobody will see except me, so you can be brutally honest. Raise your hand if you have not had a big, scary dream for a long time. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you do have a big, scary dream, but it's so far away that you feel completely disconnected from it. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you deeply feel that you could be playing a bigger game than the one you're playing. Raise your hand. If you raise your hand, you're in the right place. If you did not raise your hand, you're in the right place. You know why? Because we all human beings have one thing in common. We all want to live the highest and the truest expression of ourselves. And so no matter where you are in your life right now, we all have a next level. Yet sometimes we don't even know what that next level looks like. And so now I want you to think about what your next big dream is. And in a moment, I will have you write it down in one short, powerful sentence, but I want you to consider 2 aspects before you write. First one is, can you make it bigger? Can you make it bigger? Bigger might be adding a 0 to your revenue goal. Bigger could be if your goal is, or your dream is to write a book, become international bestseller, or take your business across the border, whatever that is. Can you make it bigger? And the second aspect to consider is, can you make it faster? The time we give ourselves to do something is usually the time it takes us to do it. So can you make it bigger in size? Can you make it shorter in time? And now I'll give you a minute, write it down. 1 powerful sentence. My next big dream is, it could be personal, professional, whatever you want to dream about, just write it down. Key number 1, have big dreams. And remember, we all tend to dream smaller, and we all tend to give ourselves too much time to achieve them. So go bigger, go faster. Step number 2 is big words. What do I mean by big words? The words we speak create realities. Do we know this? Yes or no? Yes. Because they change our subconscious mind, they produce a change in reality. Is that true or not? Yes. Okay, now, what are the 2 most powerful words according to research? I am. In Spanish, yo soy. In French, je suis. In Italian, io sono. In Chinese, I have no idea. But what I do know, what is, oh, hi. Oh, hi. We always learn something new, thank you. What I do know is that the two most powerful words, according to research, are I am, because whatever we say after them shapes our destiny. Why? Because our subconscious mind, whenever we say I am, takes it as a command. And this is the thing. I know you all know this. We all know, right? Yet study after study shows that we don't practice it. We don't. Quick quiz again. How many thoughts do we have per day? There's a debate, but a minimum of 50,000, right? How many and what percentage of those thoughts are negative? 80%. And about those 80%, how many are about our own selves? Most of them. Most of them. 80% our self-talk is negative. So, this is stressful, right? Let me just do something to de-stress for a second. No? What? Why not? Not good for me? How do you know? There's research. There's research that shows what? That this is bad for you. We've all seen the horror photos, right? I wish we had horror photos that showed what our negative, crappy self-talk does to us. What if we had a horror photo that showed what our negative self-talk does to our self-esteem, to our mental health, and to our results? Because maybe just maybe, if we had the horror photos, we would decide that doing this is just as toxic as doing this, and we would quit them both in a second. We know this, we don't practice it. We think that positive self-talk is, it's kind of like a feel-good little thing that doesn't really change anything, right? Well, self-talk is the fastest way to produce a self-fulfilling prophecy on a neurobiological level. And that sounds super complex, and it's super easy. When you have conscious, positive self-talk, your brain releases chemicals that not only make you feel good, make you perform better. You know how many times we have a dream, but then we say, I'm not going to share, because who knows, just in case. Do you ever do that? Just in case. When we do the just in case thing, we put a huge question mark next to our dream, and it doesn't work. So guess what we're going to do next? Remember what you wrote? We're going to make your dream go public. You're going to have fun, and it's super easy and it's powerful. Please get together with someone sitting next to you. Get in pairs. If you don't have a pair, raise your hand, look around, sit with someone else, but you need to work with someone. One of you will be A, the other will be B. When I say go, one will start, the other is silent, listening. When I say change, what do? You change, you got it. Okay, now decide who is going to be A. Raise your hands. Wait, and there you go. Now you are A. We have the A's? Okay. You will have 60 seconds to share, all right? When 60 seconds go by, I say change, and you say change wherever you are. When I say go, B starts. Go. B starts. All right, time to change. Now A shares. All right. I love it when this happens because it means you're lightening up your dreams. Did anybody here experience, as they were sharing their dream, that a part of your brain went, yeah, yeah. And thank you for the honesty, because not many people will acknowledge that sometimes when the big dream we have is either so big or so different from our current reality, our brain might go, yeah, right. This is something that happens when I start working with people, and I coach women to build online businesses so they can have a lifestyle they love. And sometimes they tell me things like, yeah, well, I tell myself I'm going to build an online business that's going to give me freedom, financial independence, flexibility. And then my brain goes, quick reality check. You have a 9-to-5 that you hate, a job that you cannot stand, a boss that is terrible, and you don't have enough money for rent. So how do we build a winning mindset when our reality is so different from what we dream. That is when we tap into the power of our subconscious mind. There's many ways, but this is my favorite one of all. So what I do every single day, it only takes me 90 seconds, and that's why I love it, because when I say I have no time, this is 90 seconds, and all I do, I usually do it after a meditation, but even if I don't have or I skip the meditation, I do this every day. I rehearse in my mind being the person that is already happier, healthier, wealthier, sexier, whatever you want to do. I rehearse in my mind already having more influence, more impact, more flexibility. It only takes 90 seconds, and every day you can change up a little of the things you see. When you do that, you create a new reality in your mind. And as you know, the mind doesn't tell the difference between real reality and imagined one. And if you do this every single day with presence and consciousness, your subconscious mind will make sure that the ideal you happens 10 times faster. So I recommend you do it. Okay, so big dreams, we stretch the dream, we shorten the time frame, we use the big words, the I am with power, with consciousness, and now we're going into the big actions. So here is the time when we go from dreaming about it and visualizing and all the nice stuff to actually doing it. And when we give that step, it could well happen that emotions, this thing that Eric was portraying so masterfully, emotions can take a hold of us. Because emotions are great guides, but they're very poor masters. And with the mere thought that, what if I fail? So what if I invest money, time, energy, and this project completely bombs? With that mere thought, we feel nervous, we feel anxious, we feel scared. Sometimes we feel we have to get rid of anxiety and get rid of fear and feel absolutely confident. That's bullshit. You don't need to get rid of them. They will always be there. In fact, they might be a sign that you're going big. So all you got to do is grab those emotions by the hand and tell them, let me take you dancing. Oh, what the heck? And you do it, okay? All right, and we're stepping onto our fourth key for today. So we got the big dreams, we stretch them out, we shorten the time, we use the big words, we take the big actions no matter what. And then what? I call this the big moves. What do I mean by big moves? I mean the big decisions. What do I mean by big decisions? The decisions that move the ball forward. Now the problem is that many times we think we're moving the ball forward, but we aren't. And we think we're moving the ball forward because we're very busy. We work a lot. And maybe we're super responsible and diligent and very, very busy all day long. But what if I told you that being busy does not equal moving the ball forward in your business and your life? What if your busy schedule was getting in the way of making your dreams come true? What if your busy schedule was your excuse to not make the big decisions that you know you need to make in order to transform your life? That's exactly what happened to me. So for more than 10 years, I had a big dream in the back of my mind. And the big dream was, what if I took everything I've built in the Spanish-speaking world, what if I took it to the English-speaking market? And then I would look at my schedule and I'd be like, yeah, right, you need to buy a new life. It's undoable. I'm running my business, I'm very busy, I'm a mother of 2 kids, undoable, maybe next life. And so I would just like push it away. And then one day, as I shared before, my 10-year-old son comes and says, Mom, it's been a long time since you've gone for a big dream. And so I realized I was saying I have no time for this. And so I did what I usually tell my clients to do when they say I have no time. I told myself to do a brutally honest self-audit of my time. And I strongly recommend that if you feel you have no time, do a brutally honest self-audit. What this looks like is you take an entire week and you analyze everything you do, everything, hour by hour. I did that. And at the end of that week, I realized, I'm trying to find a way to explain what I realized. Have you guys read the book by Tim Ferriss, The 4-Hour Workweek? Okay, some of you did. For those of you who have not, in essence, he explains you should be spending 80% of your time in 20% of the activities that drive the big results. Well, I was far from that. Let's just put it that way. I was very far from that. I was busy, I was working a lot, but I'm very ashamed to say that most of the things that I was doing were not that important. We're not moving the ball forward. And that is what I call productive procrastination. It's not the type of procrastination where you lay in bed and watch Netflix all day long. No, it's a type where you keep yourself busy doing a ton of things and you don't do what you know you should be doing. So if you resonate with this in any degree, I invite you to write down the following question and take it and work with this when you go back home. What are the 3 big decisions that you made in the last 3 months? Big decisions, the ones that move the ball forward in your business and in your life. And if the answer is none, it's time to take a self-audit. And it's time to ask yourself, how do I change this? Because the time you give yourself to do something is usually the time it takes you to do it. So right now, I want you to imagine that dream you wrote. I want you to get in touch with that dream. And now I want you to imagine that you're the pilot of a plane. And that ahead of you, you have a short runway. And at the end of the runway, there's a big fat line of trees. And in the back of that plane is your family sitting. And your job is to make that thing fly. Would you go slowly, overthinking every step? Or would you hit that pedal and make that thing fly as fast as you can? I don't want to sound like this was all unicorns and rainbows, because it wasn't. It was not easy. The first project we launched, we worked really hard on it. It completely bombed and failed. The Instagram account I started, and let me tell you, it's pretty humbling to start from 0. I went from over 500,000 in one language to 0. And so I diligently work and I post, and we have a social media manager, and when we reach 20K, the account gets hacked and blocked. I have been waking up at 5 a.m. every single day for the past year, including Saturdays and Sundays, and doing a juggling act between running the business in Latin America, running the new business in Europe, and raising my 2 wonderful kids. And you might be wondering, Florencia, are you driving yourself to a burnout? No, I am not. And this is what I know about airplanes, and this is also what I know about dreams. An airplane will burn 60% of its fuel during takeoff. Now, once it is up in the air, it will fly across half the globe with the fuel that it has left. And dreams are the same way. At the beginning of your dream, you will have to struggle probably, and struggle is probably not the word. You will have to put your head down and put the hours in, and you will burn most of your fuel in the beginning. But once you get that thing flying, it can take you wherever you want to go. Winning is not about achieving things. Winning is about who we become in the process of achieving them. Winning is about tapping into our inner energy, the energy that gets ignited when we have a new big dream. Winning is about having energy, so much energy that you want to jump out of bed in the morning to start your day. Winning is about honoring who we are and who we may become. It's about listening to that inner voice that says, I will not settle for less than what I'm meant to be. Because if I am still alive, I am here to be exploring and be expanding and be growing. And we were all born with that inner force that can make absolutely any dream come true. 1 year ago, as I was standing here, you inspired me to go for my next dream. I sincerely hope that our time together today has inspired you to go for your next dream in a big, bold way. Thank you very much.